You're in for it today. We got Kalsu. This is probably the hardest workout that I've ever done. And it's got the highest tap out rate as well. It's created by John Wellborn, when he's doing CrossFit football. 100 thrusters at 135.95, and you perform 5 burpees at the top of each minute. I'm just gonna go through some things real quick before I get into the movements and the warm-up. The way that you want to attack this workout is to pace it from the beginning. If you go out of the gate too hard, you're gonna blow up really quickly. So for example, on the 100 thrusters, the first minute you start with 5 burpees. Yes, you do. So let's say you got about 45 seconds to get your thrusters in. It is definitely possible when you're fresh to hit 10 thrusters, but I highly recommend staying in the neighborhood of 5 to 7, and that's gonna drop down to more like 3 to 5 as you progress each minute. There's going to be times in this workout, totally acceptable, to take a minute off of thrusters. Do your 5 burpees, rest and recover, hit your 5 burpees at the top of the next minute, and then start your thrusters up again. This one is definitely a mental grind. In terms of loading, if you have options to choose from, the optimal load is gonna be something that when you're fresh, you could do 10, so I could hit 10 thrusters unbroken, but probably could not do 18, 20. So something that you could for sure hit 10, but not get up towards 18 or 20. Let me go through the thruster, some options in terms of equipment, and then I'll get through the warm-up. Before we get into the thruster, remember this workout starts with 5 burpees. Top of each minute, that includes the very first minute. 5 burpees. So on those burpees, we want to make sure that we touch the ground with thighs and chest at the same time. And then when we get up, we get our body straight with that jump and hands overhead. Those are the range of motion standards for the burpee. Let's say that you are very slow when it comes to burpees. You can scale that down just a little bit. Those 5 burpees shouldn't take more than 20 seconds, especially for the first few minutes. It can start to take a little bit longer, up to 30 seconds when we're getting into minute 10 and 12. This workout could last 30, 40 minutes sometimes. There are people that get it done in 15 and such, but most it's gonna take quite a while to grind through. All right, so let's go through the thruster. The thruster is a full squat with a leg drive to pop the weight overhead. We're starting in the front rack position. That front rack position though is a little bit different than the front squat. The reason it's different is because we want a full grip on the bar, but we still need our elbows high. So full grip on the bar sitting against neck and on shoulders. It stays there as we do our squat. Then I use my legs to drive that overhead. So it's a fast thrust of the hip and the leg to get the bar overhead. This is my overhead position. That's 1 rep. Now briefly, let's talk about loading in the barbell. If you don't have something that, in terms of loading, that is gonna get you close to that 10, but no more than 18, 20 rep range, you got lighter load. So I'll give you an example for me. 135 is perfect for me. I could hit 10, but I would have to put that down before I got to 18 reps. Let's say I only had 95 pounds. I know that I could do about 30 reps unbroken at 95 pounds. What does that mean? Well, that means, if we're looking at the math, that I need to hit about double the amount of reps at 95 pounds in order to hit the same or similar stimulus. So you can do some math and we can help you with that in terms of, just hit up a coach, we can help you with that in terms of what your load is, what your capacity is to make this match. Same thing with a kettlebell, dumbbell, 2 dumbbells, medicine ball. The thruster is the same exact movement, front squat to overhead. Kettlebell, I'm gonna hold that kettlebell here. I keep seeing when I'm popping into classes, my elbow or elbows starting to flare out and the kettlebell way up here on top of the shoulder. This is not the correct rack position for a kettlebell. Let me show you that rack position really closely. I have a neutral wrist, the kettlebell is sitting on that wrist. I'm gonna bring fist to face, and I'm gonna tuck my elbow right in front against my ribs. So I'm pulling my arm in, pulling my hand in right next to my face. From here, I squat down, go overhead, and then when I bring it down, my elbow comes forward, and my elbow drops right into the rib cage, fist to face. Practice this position. There's your thruster with the kettlebell. What you do if you only had one object or you're using one arm is the first minute, you use one arm, the second minute, use the other, continue to alternate back and forth through your thrusters. Dumbbell, same exact position in terms of the rack position, so head of dumbbell sitting on shoulder, same exact as the barbell. Head of dumbbell sitting on shoulder, elbows up, but underneath that object, and from here I squat down, legs to overhead. If I have a household item, a backpack, a medicine ball, I'm gonna get as close to that rack position as I can. Hold that thing close to my body, pedestal, my hands underneath, drive my elbows under. From here, squat down, legs to overhead. There's your thruster. Let's get into the warm-up. We're gonna start the warm-up with 2 rounds of the following movements. We got 30 seconds of ankle bouncers. So it's just bouncing on the ankles, popping up and down. Then after that, 5 cherry pickers. So those cherry pickers, reach out front, reach middle, then reach behind. Slight bend in the knees, okay, as you're reaching, but really try to feel a stretch down the back of the legs and in the groin area. Right into 30 seconds of high knees. Target. So hands above hip or at hip height, and it's fast high knees. Don't slap your hand down to hit your knee. Bring your knee up to your hand. Right into 5, 6 count burpees. So that's squat down, 1, hands down, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's your 6 count burpees. Right into 30 seconds of butt kickers, so hands behind butt, and it's fast feet. Make contact with those hands. Right into 5 Cossack squats. Down to one side, point that toe up, stand, switch to the other side, pointing toe up, stand. When you're done with 2 rounds of those movements, you're gonna go into scale practice. On our scale practice this week, same thing as last week, except we're adding that 3-second hold. So it's 5 reps, right leg at the top of each scale. You're gonna hold 3 seconds, come back down with control. Then 5 reps left leg, same thing on the back scale. When you're done with that, get into some thrusters. And what I want you to do is use a broomstick or no load for your first round and just practice positions. So if you have a broomstick, grab that. Practice gripping the bar. When you have a broomstick, it's probably not going to sit on the shoulders because there's no load down, but keep it next to your neck. You can do that. So gripping the bar, driving the elbows up. From here, squat down, legs, then arms. Practice that timing. Try to create some mental button to press. So meaning, I feel my knees lock, that's my mental button that my arms can go. Or I feel my butt squeeze, that's my mental button that now my arms can go. So work on that timing. When you're done with 8 thrusters, what you're gonna do is add a little bit of load, not working load yet, but if you can add a little load, add a little more, and do 5. If not, then just do 5 more with that light load. When you're done with that, we can get the working load on and get started with the workout. I would say have fun with this one, but just get through this one today, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.